the olsx, stop D-S-E-I, occupy.
Hello everyone, we're going to read out some testimonies. Palestinian relatives of victims of one of the many assaults on Gaza and the rest of Palestine. This is from Ahmad Balosha, mother to Tahir, Ikram, Dina, Jawahir and Samar. Ahmad Balosha still hugs the photo of her 5 daughters, closes her eyes and imagines them in their white wedding dresses. Instead, the Israeli army, she said, put them in white coffins. The 5 Balosha sisters, Tahir 17, Ikram 14, Dina 8, Jawahir 4 and Samar 2 were killed while sleeping just before midnight on the 2nd day of the attack, when Israeli F-16 fighter jets being supplied here at this arms fair taking place right now bombed a mosque adjacent to their house in Block 5 at Jabilah refugee camp. I have another testimony from Dr. Izaline Abulesh. Unfortunately, there are thousands of such testimonies. These are just a few of the thousands. Abulesh was the father of Bisan, Maya, Aya and uncle to Noor. Dr. Izaline Abulesh's daughters, Bisan 20, Maya 15 and Aya 13, along with a niece Noor, were killed in their own apartment in Jabilah on the afternoon of January the 16th, when a pair of Israeli tank shells ripped through their bedroom. 17 others were sheltering in the same building and were injured. Dabu El-Lesh was described by the New York Times in 2009 as a Gazan and a doctor who had devoted his life to medicine and to reconciliation between Israelis and Palestinians. This is how they repay me, he said. Were they armed when they were killed? They were not armed with weapons, but rather with love for others. And I'd just like to say that 90% of the victims of war in 2015 are innocent civilians. 90%. These weapons being used that are being supplied right now and next week will not kill armed combatants in the main. They will kill innocent civilians, and there is no better example than Gaza. People cannot escape Gaza, they are trapped there. 50% of the population are under 18. This is not a war, this is repeated massacres on a global scale, and this needs to stop.
Here.
Woo! So I think this is testimony from Imam and Talal Hamdan, the parents of Hayat, Lama and Ismail, who were killed by an Israeli drone strike in Beit Hanun. So Imam told me, I still do not believe that my 3 lovely children have died. Her daughters, Hayat 12, Lama 5, and her son Ismail 10 were killed by a bomb. I remember them every fraction of every moment. How can I forget them? Every time I look out on our garden, I see them playing as they used to do. Their father, Talal Hamdan, recalled the last moments of their lives. On the 30th of December, at 7:45 in the morning, they went to put the rubbish in the container near our house, as they did every morning. I was woken up by the sound of an explosion. I did not think much of it. We live in Beit Hanun on the border. We are used to frequent Israeli bombings. But my eldest daughter rushed into the room, screaming hysterically. They killed my brothers and sisters. My 3 children were targeted by an Israeli drone. By the time I arrived at the hospital, my 2 daughters had already died. Ismail was bleeding from the brain, and the following day he too passed away. This is a residential area. There were no fighters here. Imam is still worried about the psychological state of her other daughter, Hanaday, who's 18. She keeps saying, I want to die. I should have died with my brothers and sisters. I want the Israelis to kill me. Talal said, they were wonderful kids. Haya was very bright. She was a good dabka dancer too. Ismail loved nature. He liked planting things in the garden. They were always around me. Not anymore. Imam is coping better than me. Maybe she's stronger because she experienced the killing of her father by the Israelis in the First Intifada. Despite atrocities like this, Israeli arms companies have been invited next week to Baku to host an Israeli national pavilion, where all the big hitters from the Israeli arms industry, Elbit, Raytheon, the names you recognise, will be advertising their battle-tested weapons. Israel consistently uses Palestine as a testing ground to formulate new kinds of weaponry. We've just heard about the results of the grain strike. Israel is a world-leading exporter of grains. It sells to over 1,000 countries across the globe. They're using atrocities like these essentially as a marketing technique.
This is a testimony from Mohammed Toja. Got a little bit of background about Mohammed first. He spent hours each day after work training hard to fulfill his dream. The only thing on his mind was to obtain a black belt in karate and continue until he was good enough to represent Palestine in the Olympic Games. The image of him carrying the Palestinian flag in the opening ceremony never left his mind. Mohammed's aunt phoned on the 27th of December 2008, the first day of the Israeli attacks. The shelling had intensified and she was alone, as her husband was on duty at the Al-Wafa hospital and could not leave because of the high level of casualties. She was terrified and she asked for someone to keep her company. Mohammed did not hesitate for a moment. After all, that was his nature, to be extremely kind to all members of his family. And this is what Mohammed said. On the way back, when the rockets started falling, I was hit by shrapnel. I was conscious for nearly half an hour. The ambulance could not reach me. I was very cold. As I arrived at the hospital, the Israeli army attacked nearby. My right leg had to be amputated, and I was in a coma for 2 days. After the injury, the National Society for Rehabilitation helped me to cope with my new situation. I started visiting there and took part in many courses. I helped with the preparation of summer camps. I used to be very good at table tennis before the injury. I still play. I took part in a tournament and I came second. I was very proud of this. I also helped to plant trees, replacing those destroyed by the Israeli army at Al-Samaniya Street in Gaza. All the trees were planted by victims who lost limbs. There was a philosophy behind this. They severed my leg. I wanted to plant something in the earth instead of my leg, which I could not plant again.
All those testimonies were recorded by Michelle Farah, the Palestinian from Gaza, who, after the 2009 attacks, went out to Gaza to try and help with a legal case for war crimes against the Israeli state, and he interviewed those people that we've heard just now, and also many others about their experiences. And we know that there still is no legal case in the British court for war crimes against Israel, and that's why people like us have to be here today to say, in the face of the inaction of our government, we have to act.